This is a Soul Hit production.
You have now tuned into Insight Sundays, the show that brings you relevant news, youth and political topics with a new direction and focus for our communities. Log in with Facebook and get connected. Here's your host, Adrian Mickens.
What's going on, Indianapolis, and welcome to another edition of Insight Sundays right here on AM 1310 The Lights and Facebook Live. As always, we have to give a shout out to all of our sponsors, which are Andrew J. Brown Academy, Indiana Christian Leadership Conference or ICLC, Buttons and Bows Hair Salon, Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus, New Vision Lighthouse Ministries, Hair Artistry Indy, Inner Beauty Program Incorporated, New Breed of Youth, First Achieve the Challenges for Excellence, Lighthouse Academy Charter School South and East Campus, Beach Grove Bible Church, and Sam Ash Music Store. Stay connected with us on all of our social media platforms, which is Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and of course, by downloading the Insight Sundays mobile app on the App Store and Google Play Store. Again, by downloading the Insight Sundays mobile app on the App Store and Google Play Store. As always, Indianapolis, I want to make sure that you remember to tune in to WHMB 40 on November 4th as we will be airing our first live broadcast of Insight Sundays on WHMB 40. Again, WHMB 40 on November 4th at 5 p.m. will be the first broadcast of Insight Sundays on live television programming. In the meantime, Indianapolis, we have another spectacular show for you guys today. This week, we'll be here at Westlane Middle School as we'll be interviewing a teacher here by the name of Michael Allen. Let's check it out. What's going on, Indianapolis, and welcome to another edition of Insight Sundays right here on AM 1310 The Light and Facebook Live. We are sitting here at Westlane Middle School as I'm sitting with a teacher here by the name of Mr. Michael Allen. How's it going?
I'm well, sir. Yourself?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome.
Well, let's just kind of get into the groove here. I know that you do quite a bit of work here at Westlane Middle School. One in particular is a program that you have. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that program to Indianapolis?
Most definitely, sure. Well, this program that I originated was called Legend Destiny, Inc. Mm-hmm. It's a program that, I started to do, I flirted with years ago, but this year I saw fit to bring this program to fruition. It's a program that's mentoring young men from the ages of 12 to 17. And this past week, I've actually piloted the program here at Westlane Middle School. Mm-hmm. And we're just doing things like real talk sessions with young men, different team building activities, because some of my boys don't know how to work together well because they want to fight and tug of war and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So trying to those practical things that our young men should know at this age, we kind of troubleshoot through all those issues throughout this week.
Okay, and let me ask you this question too, because you've been in education for quite some time now.
Yes, sir.
And lots of different roles in the educational system. Can you talk to the public about your tenure in education and everything that you've done so far?
Definitely. Well, little old me has started out in education. First of all, I started out in education just by subbing because I felt that in order to really get a niche and get an instinct of what this thing called education really is, I wanted to make sure that I knew if this is what I really wanted to do. So I started off in the Indianapolis Public School District, just subbing as a substitute teacher. And I did that for 4 years through college. And then through college, I found my niche. I started off as a pre-med major. Then I started with substitute teaching. I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. So I started my career started in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
I taught a couple years there teaching middle school math and elementary math education. But I also flirted with coming back to Indianapolis because this was my home state and I wanted to be near my family. So I came back here, and in 2000, I believe it was 6, I came back and rejoined the IPS family and worked as a teacher again. Yeah. From there, I kept on the line, went to Wayne Township, taught there for 3 years. And I was able to start the program that I'm doing right now at Westlane. I started there, and it was phenomenal as well. From there, I went from teacher to administration at IPS. And I had a wonderful time in IPS. It was a great experience as an administrator, but I left IPS in 2012 and went the charter route. And charter schools open up so many doors and so many things, possibilities for me to work with young men, young ladies, and build programs at the charter level before becoming a principal again at the charter school. And just so happened, past couple years ago, I left education, not totally, but I left education to go back and work on my PhD, which was in urban education, because I felt urban education, I'm teaching urban education. I just want to get all the lows and the highs of what I need to know to be fully embrace my job and be able to help our kids with fidelity. So I went to work on my PhD for a year, and money got kind of funny. So I said, I got to do something. So a job position landed here at Westlane Middle School last year, and I've been here since last year. And it's been amazing. I didn't see my growth in my teaching ability, see my growth in my students. And I just most important, I just see my growth holistically with myself and my kiddos here.
You spoke that you taught in Atlanta at one point in time. From your perspective, what's the difference between the two educations from the state of Georgia, from the state of Indiana?
The only major difference that I noticed, kids are going to be kids no matter what type of part of the world or part of the earth or part of the United States you teach them in. Yeah. But the bigger difference is just policy. Different things as far as unions, the way they run their unions, the way they run their schools, who's over what. That's the bigger difference. But the major difference that I can see kid-wise was absolutely nothing. I mean, I feel like Georgia taught me a lot of things that I can bring back to Indianapolis. Yeah. Indianapolis has taught me a lot of things that I could definitely take to Georgia as well.
Yeah. Well, I will say you definitely have one heck of an educational resume. Yes. And I can see why you have continued, your career in education from a passionate level, from wanting to reach out to the youth, especially with the programs and stuff that you have now, and even being principal at one point in time too as well. I know that down the road, I would even say myself, I could see you opening something for yourself down the road one day. Maybe we'll see, if that day does come. But as of right now, with the program that you have after school here at Westlane, is there anything what's some of the activities that you do that the students really look forward to?
Well, one of the things that just kind of touched my heart last week in talking with my young men here is, because we serve a wide population of students, transient students from different nationalities, different origins, different demographic venues. One of the kids said, "Mr. Allen, I'm just so glad because the food you've been serving us this week, man, has been the bomb diggity." That kind of spoke volumes to me, because some people are getting at just the pep sessions. Some kids are looking forward to the games and activities I have, but other kids are just looking towards for a nourished meal. Yeah, and that's amazing to me, because I'm thinking, well, I can't be dumbfounded, but I'm thinking sometimes people go home and eat. That's what we do as parents. We come home and feed our kids. Yeah. Some kids have different backgrounds, and some kids' parents work too much, or some kids blatantly, they just don't have the food in the house to eat. So that really touched my heart. Different kids look for different things, and I'm glad that I can bless them. People in my program can bless them to meet them at their level and at their point of need.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you, just to kind of piggyback on that, what's some good takeaways that the young men get with working with you, like from a testimonial story, one that you can share, so that the parents can get really, an in-depth insight about what you do in the program?
Well, this week we had a really, really tough, courageous conversation about respect, and our young men is feeling entitled when they're redirected by any adult, by a stranger, by a teacher, by an adult. Like, let's say we're walking down the mall somewhere, and a police officer says, "Guys, can you keep moving?" They take offense. Not just because it's a police officer, because I'm not doing that. I'm just here talking, but they want people to continue to move around, not being in big crowds. So we addressed to the kiddos, why is it so hard to comply? Or why say, "Sir, my apologies," and keep moving, and you don't have to say nothing. So it's so hard for our kids to embellish the fact that they are, one, a child, and two, they're able to be respectful. You don't have to be mean. So one of the things that one of the young men said today that really touched my heart today, where all the other kids were talking about, if I'm playing my music outside of my house, my music is booming, and a neighbor comes to the house and tells me to turn my music down or asks me to turn my music down, I'm going to tell them, I live in the neighborhood too, what's wrong with my music? Yeah. But another young man said this. He said, "You know what? Sometimes it don't take all that. Sometimes it's like, you know what, sir, my apologies. I don't mind turning my music down." And he said, sometimes it's better just to treat them with kindness, because I might hurt them even more. And maybe not trying to hurt them, but you treat them with kindness, it opens up a whole nother level, a whole nother door of responsibility. And that's what we're trying to get.
So what's some things that you need or require for the parents to assist you as a teacher?
One thing, whatever we discuss, whatever those principles, things that we're working on here in-house, in this building or wherever facility I'm working in, it's for it to be reinforced at home. Because it's kind of hard that I'm here trying to tell the kid, to be respectful to the teachers, but when they go home, you better tell that teacher, don't talk to you like that. You come and tell me because I'm going to take up for you. And then sometimes that's a battle that I try to fight day in, day out, because I may have a kiddo that we had a great conversation, and I want them. Then I come back, something happens in another classroom or at home. When my mama said, and it's like when my mama said or my daddy said, it's not really belittling what I'm trying to tell them, but it kind of defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to instill in them to relish and embrace. So when they leave me, they can take this principle wherever they go to see it flourish and to see it work.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we deal with a lot of, again, like I said before, case-by-case basis, where that teacher needs family home assistance to reinforce things that are trying to be applied here at the schools. And, sometimes it bleeds over, and then that's where the programs come in to play. Have you heard anything, and again, you don't have to elaborate heavily, but what's one of the most common challenges that the young men talk about during your circles?
Well, I was very surprised at some of the things that kind of popped up. And I'm just, like I said earlier, sometimes I feel like I'm out of touch sometimes because I thought everything's going well because they come here with a smile. I don't think anything's wrong. But I've had multiple one-on-one conversations with certain students. Then we get in a group, and then I look at their papers and read what they say. Some of our young men, even though they have a house to live in, have a family to go home to, some of them don't even feel loved. And I was really taken when I found out that the other day I had my young man just write on note cards things that's bothering them, things that they struggle with, things that hurt them inside that no one else knows. And a few of the things that I got back from that was, I know I have parents, but sometimes I feel like I'm on an island by myself and I'm not loved. Or, I go home every day and I know my mom, she has a boyfriend or she has I have a stepdad, but I just don't get along because they are so much in love. I feel like I'm just another guest in the house or just a visitor or maybe a roommate, and I just got to do all the chores and make them happy for me to get fed. So it's so many dynamics that I'm dealing with. And I think one of the key things that I want to point out in my program is each one of my young men, eventually I want them to have an individualized mentoring process, an individual mentoring plan. Because each boy has something different. No matter if they be in the same room, the same group, we all play basketball together, we all have these talk together. But each young man has something that they're dealing with. One may be dealing with talking back, somebody else may be dealing with just going home on time every night. Some have be dealing with just getting their assignments in. But my goal is to have them so ownership of whatever it is that they need help with, own it. After they own it, I want them to be able to overcome it, then transition to the next level.
Hello, my name is Crystal Hines of the Inner Beauty Program, where I'm the founder and president. We have been enriching and inspiring and empowering youth ages 8 to 18 since 2002. Our original purpose of the program is to have girls focus on their inner attributes in a world where the outer appearance is the focal point. We have a dynamic staff of women who are here to provide all types of programming for your young ladies, including life coaching, mentoring, tutoring, boot camps, and special events. Please stay connected with us through our website, myinnerbeautyprogram.org, our Facebook page, Inner Beauty Program Inc., and our mobile app, Inner Beauty. Thank you.
Download New Boy mobile app. Check out our features. Comprehensive homepage. Scheduled events. Real-time notifications. Latest news. Download on App Store and Google Play.
Hello, my name is Sister Ariane Anderson, and I am the Youth Director at Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus. Here at Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus, I have the opportunity to work with children of all ages. We offer so much for our children. They are a highlight of our church. Every Sunday we offer youth services for our children, and every fourth Sunday of each month we allow for our children to co-lead our services. Also, our youth nights are powerful. Every fourth Friday at 7 p.m. we come together in unity. During our youth nights, we get to praise, we get to worship, and our children get to fellowship with other children. At Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus, our pastor, Derek and Lady Valerie Miller, are committed to serving our youth. So come out to Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus. It's the place where God is.
Buttons and Bows Nail and Hair Salon welcomes you to our new location at 6233 Allisonville Road, where we service all nationalities. We are a full nail and hair salon. Booth space available. Call 317-362-0323 for more info.
Since 4th grade, Indianapolis Lighthouse College Prep has been my home.
Lighthouse gave me the opportunity to take college classes for dual credits.
Lighthouse allows me to do community service, mentoring younger students.
At Lighthouse, I take classes geared towards a career that I'm interested in.
I'm a Lighthouse Scholar from kindergarten to college.
I am a Lighthouse Scholar from kindergarten to college.
I'm a Lighthouse Scholar graduating this year and on my way to college. Apply at lighthouse-academies.org.
Beach Grove Bible Church. Beach Grove Bible Church. Beach Grove Bible Church. Beach Grove Bible
Church. During the last 5 years, National Heritage Academies ranked in the top 25% of U.S. schools for academic growth.
I'm learning a lot.
We want you to have academic success, but we want you to have emotional success.
They teach me to be a good person.
My children feel very safe.
That's why 92% of our parents recommend us.
We are in the business of producing excellent human beings. That's our legacy to the world.
Hello, everybody. My name is Pastor Aaron Boyd. I'm the pastor at New Vision Lighthouse, and we're located at the corner of 46th and Arlington and Devonton Plaza. We welcome you to come and worship with us every Sunday at 11 a.m. We have midweek Bible study on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Our mission is simply this: to let our light shine in our communities and in our families. You can like us on Facebook, visit us on the web at newvisionlighthouse.com. God bless you. Be careful and be prayerful.
I just got the best deal on my new guitar at Sam Ash.
I always get advice I can trust.
I got it in time for my gig.
The coolest selection of music and sound gear, always at the guaranteed lowest prices. Sam Ash, the real deal. Get zero interest financing for 24 months with your Sam Ash credit card.
Let's talk about mentorship. The young men today have lots of different influences in their lives, much like what you just said, from an uncle, a stepdad, a brother, And, as a young man, we look up to people who are maybe 10 to 5 years older than we are as the golden child of anything, that we want to maybe follow their path or get some things from them that we think we can incorporate when we turn 20 or 21. How powerful, well, let me ask you this question first. What is your definition of a good mentor to help the young people know which ones are good and which ones are deceitful and will lead them down the wrong path? Because it may start off looking good, but it's not the path that you should go down long term.
One thing that I've always said to myself, I don't want to mentor just for the name's sake, so somebody can see I did that. That's me. Look at him, he's like that because of me. That's a no-no. One thing that I definitely try to tell all my young men that I've mentored in the past who still come back and help me today is that, one, you have to understand that mentorship is more than just calling somebody. Mentorship is more than just checking on somebody. Mentorship is getting to know that person. Because I cannot mentor you if I don't know you. And a lot of people say, yeah, I know him. Yeah, I know Michael. Yeah, I know Tony. But oftentimes you may know of that person, but understand their emotions, understand their past, digging deep in those dark, secrets and deep secrets, and not just the secrets, but having someone to understand you and meet you at your needs. Sometimes mentors may come in and they want you to raise you up. In order for you to do this, you got to come up to my level. Yeah. And that's one key thing about my particular program. As I meet my young men at their need, I know they got a lot of work. I got a lot of work. Yeah. I'm still working on myself. Yeah. But at the same time, too, I don't expect them to go up here when I know they're right here right now. So I bring things, my programming is geared and tweaked just enough to reel the boys in. I'm right here. Yeah. I know you battling with cussing teachers out and fussing and mad and don't have the patience, all that kind of stuff. I'm meeting you right there. Yeah. I'm right along with you, but baby steps is what I look for. If I can see baby steps, I can help you. And a mentor that has a patience. Yeah. Patience is so much key. Because we understand all this stuff that's going on in the world, these shootings, these killings, senseless killings, all this stuff that's going on. And we want to just throw them to the wayside. I can't do nothing with them. I can't do nothing with him. But we have to take a look at that. In our lives too, that we didn't have it all together too. So that's one of the things I feel like that I believe. I look in, I think any young man that's looking for a mentor, first you have to have that type of connection and see if that particular person meshes with you, because not every mentor will be good for that particular young man. Everybody doesn't work together. But I'm just so fit that I think God has graced me with the personality that I have, and I think that's why my program has so many young men in it now, because I'm fair, I'm firm, and they know they're going to get consistency with me. Yeah. I'm going to tell them like it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, and I'll meet them at the point of need. But at the same time, they know I'm going to tell them the truth. Rather, if they don't like it, they still got to hear it. Yeah. Rather it hurts or not.
Yeah. Two more questions. One, which is a direct question for what you were just talking about. Another one is going to be on how people can be a part of the program. But segueing for what you just spoke about, let's talk about gun violence just for a little bit. Again, your years in education, you've seen a progression of time of the sensitivity of the matter. And it's past sensitive. It's at an all-time red high, past red high. What is it that you hear from the students on how they feel about the time that they're living in?
Well, it depends on, a lot of times it depends on the maturity level of that student. Yeah. Because some students, they watch TV, they're used to it, and it doesn't phase them. But the group of young men that I've worked with here lately, they all have been affected by it. So some I've heard, I'm scared. I've heard I'm still dealing with it because their loved ones have recently been shot and murdered. Matter of fact, we had one of our loved ones here in the Westlane family this past year was murdered. So I believe that ultimately our young people know what's out there. They deal with it on different levels. But I think for the most part, with the young men that are in my program, they're dealing with it. Some of them are dealing with it behind the scenes. Some of them are dealing with it head on, where sometimes I'll get a phone call, I'll get a text message, I'll get some type of resemblance of something that they're hurting, so they're crying in some type of manner. We've actually talked about this past week, because I had asked the question, who in the past year, 2 years, has had a loved one, close name, brother, sister, cousin, best friend, have died to gun violence? Raise your hand. Almost every hand in the room was raised. And that spoke volumes to me that this program is needed, not only just to help them cope through it, but help them know how not to get caught up in it, not to be the next victim, or to be the next suspect.
Yeah. Well, you gave some great advice, great tools, and good things for people to apply, whether they're teachers or young men or young ladies for that matter in their lives. If anybody wants to be or get in touch to know about your program in person, how do they reach you?
Well, I have a website. It is www.legenddestiny. Again, www.legenddestiny.com. That's 1D. That's Legend and D and Destiny. Just keep 1D. You don't need 2 Ds for that. Altogether.com. Okay. There's a tab on there contact us. Email will shoot straight to my email address, and I can get in touch with you if you want to be a mentor with the program, if you want to sow a seed to donate, if you want your young man or someone to be in the program. Any way, shape, or form, I would love for you guys to get in contact with me, because it takes a village. I'm only one person, but if one, 2, or 3 people come together, we can take a nation. So I'm looking forward to people signing up to help, to donate, or if your young man wants to be a part of the program, because we are looking to build young men.
Well, there you have it, Indianapolis. Make sure that you reach out, get in touch to be a part of this phenomenal program. You heard it from the man himself, Mr. Michael Allen, who is a phenomenal teacher in my book, because he is genuine about what he does and he sticks to it day to day, and he's been in education for many years. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Indianapolis, for tuning in to another edition of Insight Sundays right here on AM 1310 The Lights and Facebook Live. As always, Indianapolis, make sure that you stay connected with us on all of our social media platforms, which is Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and of course, by downloading the Insight Sundays mobile app on the App Store and Google Play Store. Again, by downloading the Insight Sundays mobile app on the App Store and Google Play Store. Please make sure that you tune in with us for the first broadcast on WHMB 40 at 5 p.m. on November 4th. Again, WHMB 40 at 5 o'clock, November 4th. And as always, we will check you guys out next week.
This is a Soul Hit production.